voice like the X Factor. So guys, I know this is a very quiet, lovely, organised event, but think about your daily lives. When you're getting up, you're going on the train to work and, havoc with the family and stuff. Do you feel in control? Do you feel organised? Put your hand up if you're in complete control. Modest. Lovely, humble audience. Well, no, I suppose a lot of us don't, and that's okay, but I think simplicity and simplicity, I think that's what we're missing, really. We live in a very busy, fast world. We're not really meant for it. And just before I begin, I just want to say that I'm not one of these CEOs or entrepreneurs or those people. So take what I say with a pinch of salt. It's just someone who's made a lot of changes over the last year or two and learned quite a few things on the way, and I just want to share those with you. So I've learned a lot about simplicity, simple living, and slowing down in this fast world. And while this isn't a talk about happiness, it's certainly a byproduct of slowing down and taking control. So why do we struggle in this fast world today? Why do we feel we're not in control? Well, the truth is, whether you believe in religion or science, we have very old brains. We are human. It's just human hardware, a very old computer. And the world is this fast software. And you can imagine trying to run all this fast software, lovely organised software on an old piece of hardware. It doesn't work, does it? It's the same with us. Why are we trying to keep up with this world? It's a lovely world we live in, but it's too much of it. Way too much. Slow down. So the book I've got here made a great influence in my life. Goodbye Things by Fumio Sasaki, who practices Japanese minimalism, where he was basically born and basically living with very little, getting rid of everything else, just what you need. But I think today that we buy so much, we just love buying things, maybe because it gives us that little hit of dopamine and like likes on Facebook, that sort of thing, which is good in short term, but imagine only owning a few things that you actually loved and you actually were passionate about. I'm passionate about my duvet. I love my duvet. I love my bed. We all do. But imagine owning 10 beds or 10 pillows on a bed. You wouldn't be able to name them. You wouldn't know. Not name them like people. I mean, you couldn't list them to people. You couldn't say, this is my blue one. One's got flowers on. But I've only got one pillow. It's a V pillow. Have you seen those? Crutches you up in bed, and I love that pillow. So I think, appreciating small things and few things is definitely better than having all these things. You walk into this big house and have all these things, and again, that doesn't help you with having control. It's not a simple way of living. And again, you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you're rushing, it's the same thing every day, it's the same routine, and tomorrow you might think, how can I change it? Well, I've thought about that so many times, and the next morning I make a little change, and every day I do it, and over the last year or two, it sort of added up. I suppose we feel like we're missing out. We're so interested in keeping up with others, Facebook, Twitter, that sort of thing. We're so cooped up with keeping up with everyone else's life. We're not looking at our own. Focus on your own first. That's the most important one. I'm telling you now, I'm giving you permission to be selfish. Only think about yourself. Try and keep up with your life, work out your life and your qualities and how you want to live before you look into your newsfeed and look at everyone else's, because they're focusing on their life, so don't worry about them. Just don't miss your life, don't miss out on your life because you're trying to keep up with everything, the news and just all the protests and things that happen around town, that sort of thing. So, like I mentioned, minimalism. When you think of minimalism, you might think of a bare room, a white floor, black furniture, one black settee, no bed, just a mat maybe you sleep on. But that's just the aesthetic of it, I suppose. When you look at images on Google, you'll see these lovely glass houses, and it's not realistic. That's not what minimalism is. Minimalism is just keeping around what you love, like I said at the beginning, and getting rid of everything else. And when you do that, you find, like I said, that you love every one of your possessions, however many you have. And minimalism doesn't mean trying to compete with everyone else and owning as little as possible. Oh, I only own 5 things. Oh, I own 20. That's fine. You can own 100 things if you love those things and you actually use those things. So minimalism is just decluttering, it's getting rid of the crap. So the spring clean. We do it every few months, we spring clean, and we feel really good about our house, ourselves, when we give ourselves a good wash, a good spa day. And it's really just, obviously you should wash every day. So I've split decluttering into 3 categories. If anyone's got a notebook, now's the time to get it out. Number 1 is possessions, as I've said. So like I said, buying more stuff, impulse buying. There's a little shop in Cardiff I like called TK Maxx. Those little nifty things. Oh, that's a lovely water flask. Look at the flowers. I've got one, but this is nice. I love that. You forget about the other one. So you can't keep up with all these possessions anyway. Just buy the best one you see. Buy the one you love, and when you're done with it or when it wears out, then buy the next one. I also think we buy stuff and we get involved in social media and looking at other people's lives because it's a distraction. Like I said, it's a distraction from looking into yourself and focusing on yourself. It's just a short-term distraction. At the end of the night, when we're laying in bed and we're reflecting on our day, we'll think, oh, I did the same thing as yesterday. So distracted, I didn't get anything done, or not the things I wanted to do. I'll fix it tomorrow. But start straight away, go through the day, or go through your things and get rid of all those distractions. Just don't buy anything, basically. Unless you absolutely need it or you absolutely love it, then it's worth buying. But don't do it for that little hit of dopamine. I mean, ask yourself, are you in control of your possessions or are they in control of you? Like I said at the beginning, can you list all of your possessions? Or is it just stuff that's there? Keep everything that brings you joy. Another writer, Marie Kondo, you probably know that name. She's the one who sort of made it a trend, I suppose, minimalism. Really got it booming again after there was a tsunami about 20 years ago in Japan, and they have those often there and they lose all of their possessions, so they rethink everything and they think, okay, I'll just keep what I need and keep what I love, and they're doing it right. And I've been doing the same, and I feel in so much control, such a simpler life. There's nothing wrong with not living a complicated, fast life. You can still do the things you love to do your hobbies, and they'll come up in a minute. But you just feel like you're in control, and it's such a good feeling. The next one, a bit of a tricky one, relationships. So the second point of decluttering is relationships. It's hollow. Evaluate your friends. I think we do the same with friends that we do with possessions. We accumulate friends, and you see it on Facebook. I hate to keep coming back to social media and saying, oh, it's evil and all that. But we keep accumulating friends and piles of them and think, yes, I'm so popular, I've got all these friends. How can you name them? Can you list your friends list on Facebook? You don't have to answer it, it's fine. Just have little pauses now. We collect friends, and I suppose we feel like, yes, I'm popular, this feels good, this feels happy. Again, little hits of dopamine, but some of those friends are poison. I think you know it when you evaluate them, and sometimes they make you feel bad. Relationships can be poisonous. It's not your fault, you just fell into it. They were good at first. Good at first, I think this is great. But you get into a routine and you get to know people better, and you get to know them, but you don't weigh up the pros and cons. You just think, I'll stick with them, they're a friend. But no, declutter your friends. It's really hard to do. I found it really hard. I dropped a lot of friends. A lot of people gone from my life. But again, I feel a lot better because I've kept people in my life I love, and I can name, I'm passionate about. This is Liam. He does this, you know. But yeah, it's really hard. You've got to let them go. If you want, do it with pros and cons. It's hard because it's a human thing. Like you think, oh, I can't hurt their feelings. Stuff their feelings. It's about you. They've got friends. They'll be fine without one. This is you. You need to keep people around that you want, that will raise you up, that motivate you. You can bounce energy off. You want people to support you in your goals. You don't want people to laugh at you when you say you want to reach your goals. Recently I went through a journey like the second speaker lost a lot of weight and became addicted to running and walking and hiking, and some of my friends didn't get it. So that's silly. Come sit in the pub. Can have a drink. We'll have a bit of banter. Banter's good, but it doesn't get you anywhere. I think we've all been through it, maybe in uni, college, we've all been through the same routine, same friends, same pub, same activity, same jokes. You don't move forward. It's 2 years later and you think, what have I done? So when you've got goals, you stick with the people who will encourage it, who will support you, let go of the people who think it's funny. I've got to brag about this, I've gone on to run Newport Marathon a few months ago. Never thought I'd do it, and now I'm going on to running ultramarathons, and I've only got friends who support that. They might not understand it. It's like, that's crazy what you're doing, but go for it. It's hard, but it's worth it. You deserve better. You deserve a lot better in your surroundings. You deserve like-minded people who will treat you right. Stuff the others. Well, yeah, it's true. Stuff them. That sounds horrible, isn't it? Yeah, like I said, even bad people you want to keep around, you just think, oh, I've known them for years. Drop them. The third point is interests. Kind of links in with possessions. So when you get rid of possessions, you'll find out that, actually I don't like that hobby anymore. So for me, I did photography for 12 years, Photoshop for 12 years. I did weddings, events. I'd shoot this sort of event, videography, all that stuff. But when I got into running, and as your hobbies change, when I got into running and hiking and walking, you find that your hobbies change and you'll leave stuff behind. So I think we try to take on all these hobbies and things, and we think, it's really good. I'd love to sail a boat. I'll buy a boat. But it's stuck at the harbour. You're not using it. My camera was stuck on the desk for about a year or two, and I thought, it was just collecting dust. So it might be hard. You might think, what if? And that's the thing that stops you from decluttering and living a simple life. What if? That's those flowery bottles you drink water from. You've got one. You see it at TK Maxx as I do, because I go in there. And you think, what if I want it? What if I want it tomorrow? It'll be there. What if I sell my camera with thousands of pounds of equipment? And what if suddenly, actually, I really want to take some photos of some flowers. Flowers are nice. Or people, or landscapes, lovely whales. But you can always buy a camera, it's fine. You can save up again. You can sell whatever hobby you're doing at the moment to try and fund that. It's always going to be there. Always go back to it. Don't keep things thinking, what if? The past is yesterday, the future's tomorrow. Think about now. We're evolving beings, always thinking different things every day, every year. Like I said, I never thought I'd be a runner or a hiker. Love sitting down. Sitting down is easy, isn't it? So yeah, it says here, don't cling on. Good note. Choose joy again, so choose the hobbies that bring you joy. Because time is limited. You've only got 24 hours a day. Take out the 9 hours of sleep. I get it. And your 8-hour job, you've only got 3-4 hours left. So every day, you've only got maybe an hour to yourself. Some people have families, an hour a week to themselves. Why would you waste that on something you're not really going to invest in? Something you think, I'm just doing it because I think I should, and I might like it one day. Your time is precious. So when we change, our hobbies change. As you can see here, they're all interlinked. So you start doing one, pick the easiest one, and you'll tick them all off one by one. So that's decluttering, that's simplifying. As I mentioned, slowing down is important in this fast world. So I find that the best way to slow down in life is the morning. That's where it starts. So a slow start is the best start. Have you ever seen people, or you may have been them, and you've rushed for the train, you've rushed for the bus in the morning? Has anyone ever squandered a thought, I've done everything I had to do, this is good, going into work, fresh. maybe sometimes, but often you're rushing. You get up an hour before work or something, or 2 hours. Always get up an hour before you have to. Add an hour on, because that leeway, you've got to be thankful for it. That's what I've started doing. Instead of, I was getting up 2 hours before work, but now I get up 3, 4. If I've got the time, I'll just go for a walk, or, just chill out, have some time to yourself before the chaos of the world. Have a coffee or whatever. Sit down, do nothing. It's not often we do nothing now, and like I said, human hardware. Okay, yeah, we're built to hunt and things like that, but we're also built just to do nothing and just let ourselves wander and let that wavelength flow for a bit. We're built to dream. So yeah, go here, go slow, take control. Like I said, there's no better feeling than being in control. You're getting a train that's earlier or on time. So yes, this is good. I feel washed, refreshed, feeling good. Hi, how are you doing? Hey. And you go into work, it's like, hi, how is everyone? They think it's annoying because they've rushed in, like, oh, I feel awful. Oh, it's this guy, not a happy guy, but he's in control. Not one of the, you don't have to be bubbly and joyful, Just have to swagger in like, you know what you've done. Yeah, I've created a good morning routine. I know what I'm doing. That's a good start. Obviously that starts with sleep. And like I said, I get about 9 hours of sleep, and you might not be that fortunate, but something I try at the moment, something you could try, especially with the winter, is light therapy. So wearing those orange glasses at night. And those UV lights that fake the sun. Try those in the morning, trying those at the moment. They're pretty cool. But just focus on and really work on a routine. It takes ages. It takes a while to come up with a routine. It's not as simple as just, right, this is what I want to do in the morning. I brush my teeth, You'll miss things. It'll take a while to curate a very specific routine that fits in your hour or two in the morning. And lastly, I didn't know if I'd have time to do this, but lastly, I've got one about worrying. So we worry a lot, and that doesn't help us to stay in control. That's not a very simple life. It gets very complicated when we worry all the time. It's normal to worry. It's normal to be anxious. It's a part of life. It's our brain saying, maybe you should worry about this. Maybe you should think about this a bit. Worry is normal, But I suppose over-worrying is the problem, really. So the past is gone, like I mentioned in the past. The future is tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Worry about today. What can you do today? What little thing can you do every day just to make your life overall better? Like I said, it took me 2 years, and I'm still working on it. You'll still work on it in 50 years. I've got a verse here from Matthew 6:34, and I'll leave it with you. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Thank you.